Hello, everyone. So, you say you want to increase your vocabulary. Well, there has to be a way to do it. I know back in college, I had a classmate, a good friend of mine, and boy, he knew a lot of stuff. And finally, one day I asked him, "Why do you know so much?" And he said, when I was on summer vacation, my parents had me read the dictionary. And at that point in time, I knew why he knew so much. Not a bad idea, but let's see if there's a way that you can increase your vocabulary where you don't have to read the entire dictionary, although that's not a bad idea, something to keep in mind. A very good book to sit down with. So here we have the Word Detective's Key. I have some answers on here, but if we were to look at the standard here, vocabulary acquisition and use, there are a lot of words here. And boy, once we increase our vocabulary, we can read all of these, or if you want to stop the video and read through this, you may. But I've taken some words out of here. I put them in yellow. It says determine the meaning of unknown words and analyze meaningful word parts. So you're taking parts of words. And here I put that into a Word Detective's condensed notes. You can figure out what condensed is after you become a word detective here. So here I have it. Determine the meaning of unknown words and analyze meaningful word parts. Let's go back to some of the ways that they give us here. In A, I highlighted some items again. Check the meaning in context or in a dictionary. So I put it here, check the meaning in context. How are they using it in the sentence? Does that help us figure out? Or do we have to go to the dictionary, whether it's the old type of book that you open or if you go online? And for part B, it says use grade appropriate Greek or Latin affixes and roots as clues to the meaning of a word. I took out grade appropriate because, of course, you're going to use whatever is grade appropriate for you. And I put that here, use Greek or Latin affixes. Those are actually that's a word for both prefixes, beginning of words, and suffixes, those parts that come at the end of words. And the root is the part within the middle. And below that here, we have the word etymology, which we should define, and vocabulary. If you do want to stop the video at this point and look those up, you could do that and put those definitions in there. I'm going to add those here shortly. We have a few good sites here, etymonline.com for etymology, vocabulary.com for the vocabulary here, or Merriam-Webster. So okay, if you did stop the video and put in your definitions, here's what I have for etymology. If it's going to, oops, I want to undo. I'm going the wrong way. There it is. The origin and historical development of a word. And for vocabulary, a list of defined words of a language. It could be on paper or what's in your head. And going down below here, consider hippopotamus. It has, oh wait, definitely uncalled for. Let's turn that off. Could give the students some trauma or something. Okay, consider hippopotamus. It has how many syllables and two meanings? It has hippo in it and potamus. We have to figure out what it is first, how many syllables. I had some students in class that were clapping. Hippopotamus, 5 syllables. My third grade teacher said, put your hand under your chin, and every time your chin hits your hand, it's a syllable. Hippopotamus, 5 syllables. So let's type 5 in there. And if it's a number 10 or under, you should type in the word instead of putting the number there. And if you do want to get the site here, ETYM online, etymology online, you should have something coming up like that. And you put in hippopotamus and then hit the search. And if you do want to stop the video here, you may do that and search it yourself and then fill in the blanks here. Otherwise, we will keep going. So I put in hippopotamus and it does come in here. If you read through this, you could pause. I'm going to go back to the notes, and from what I've taken here, put down the meaning for hippo. And this is from the Greek word hippos, meaning horse. And if you were to read that over right here, you would find that within there. And for potamus, this comes from the Greek word meaning river or stream. And if you put those two together, you could say, therefore, a hippopotamus is a horse of the river or a river horse. Of course, you want to be careful if you're in a river with your boat. Hippopotamuses are territorial, and you might be like that poor guy who ended up being thrashed around and lost a leg, but he did survive. Okay, since we know what potamus means, let us take a look at the word Mesopotamia. Now, meso, we have to find out what that means. So if we go back to etymology online and you type in meso, you would find here, looking at one of the words, mesocracy, it says middle. So if we go back to our notes again, meso. This Latin portion has Greek roots and means middle. And by looking at the two parts of this word, we know that it means the land in the middle of or between the rivers. In this case, the rivers are the Tigris and Euphrates. Now we know the meaning of meso, or now that we know the meaning of meso, let us move on to the word mesoderm. And again, if you want to put that in etymology online and stop it here, you could do that and then put it in on your own. Let's take a look here. Okay, if you did not stop, I typed it in and it's saying the skin, derm, skin. So let's go back here and just type that in. This comes from the Greek word derma, which means skin. It must follow then that the mesoderm is the middle layer of your skin. So we have layers of skin. Since you know this, what is the meaning of the words ectoderm and endoderm? And endo, let's see, this comes from the Greek word endon. And if we were to go and search now, I typed in endo, it came up with the word endosperm, and it doesn't give anything else. But if I go to all results here, and I put in a prefix, then it will tell me inside, within, internal. Let's go back to our notes here. Let me see if I can put that in. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Oh, it should be within. Within. Okay, this comes from the Greek word endon, meaning within. Thus, the endoderm must be, and I'm going to copy this from my notes here since I think I goofed up a little with the back and forth buttons. Thus, the endoderm must be the inner layer of your skin. Endoderm must be the inner layer of your skin. Ecto, you can do the same searching here if you do want to pause and go and find that. You certainly may find the meaning of ectos by putting it in as a prefix, pre meaning before. I'm going to copy it here, and it means outside, meaning outside. Of the three layers, the ectoderm is the outer layer. Okay, and that could lead us further on. Sometimes you get going and it's like, oh, I think I've heard of a dermatologist. What is a dermatologist? Must be somebody that does something with skin. And we have ologist here. And you could also search, if you go to the etymology site, if you put in ologist, it's going to tell you that you have to do it separately. Put in ology and ist. And if you were to do that, if you want to do that on your own, stop the video now and do it and see what you come up with. Not a bad idea. And if you have not stopped the video, I'm going to go to the key here. Ologist. This suffix refers to a person who studies or has knowledge of a particular kind of science. So let's put that in here. And then we know that a dermatologist is someone who studies or has knowledge of the skin. A dermatologist is someone who studies or has knowledge of the skin. And we'll take out that extra who there. Otherwise, we'll sound like an owl. Who. All right. Find the meanings of the parts of additional words now that you are becoming an expert at being a word detective. So find the meanings of the parts of additional words of your own choosing. Or some additional possibilities are listed here. And after you do those, you can go back up to the top and find out what condensed means. All right. I hope that you have become a better word detective by taking some notes on this and have fun learning some new words. Take care. Goodbye.